What's up guys, this is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're going to be looking at the amazing Spider-Man Unmasked with the alternate head Peter Parker / Spider-Man figure. This is based on the movie, obviously, so I wasn't real keen on getting it at first, but I found it at Walmart and I figured out, what the heck, I'll get it. So I got it. He stands 6 1/4 inches tall, so that's probably pretty good in scale. Maybe a little tall, but I think it's okay. He comes with one of these bases. We won't talk about that too much. And he comes with a skateboard, which has minimal paint, but a little bit of paint on it on the top. Sculpt is actually pretty good, so I could see a customizer making this look a lot better if they wanted to. But there you have that. Comes with a backpack with, well, let's just take it off. Obviously, he can wear it, so I won't talk about that. Let's get it off. The plastic on this is kind of stiff and it's kind of thick, so getting it on and off isn't the easiest thing in the world, but it does work. It has a white strap painted on, and then it has this black elastic strap that is usable. The white strap is meant to do what the elastic strap does, so I don't know why they didn't just make that a real strap instead of sculpting it and adding one. But whatever, the sculpt is pretty good, and well, it's good enough, I guess. So again, like the skateboard, a little bit of paint would go a long way with this piece. As far as other accessories go, he's just got the alternate head. So he's got the, whatever the actor's name is, I can't think of it, the Peter Parker head, which is painted okay. The face is painted well enough, it's sculpted well enough. The hair is sculpted pretty well too, but it's painted with some like brass, or not brass, like a bronze. So I don't really get that. I mean, I know some hair is shiny, but that's taking it a little bit too far, I think. So that looks a little bit odd. I guess, I mean, once you get used to it, it doesn't look that bad, to be honest. But being metallic, it is a little bit odd. And then, of course, he has the Spider-Man head, which doesn't have any black in the red at all. I mean, there's like a wash, but it doesn't go in the webbing, so that's kind of weird. The eyes are nice and metallic, and they're painted pretty well. They interchange pretty well because it's just a peg with the tiniest bit of a flare at the end, so nothing's going to fall off, but the interchangeability is pretty good, and there you have just the standard Spider-Man figure. We'll leave it like that for the rest of the review. You do have a hinge to let him look up and down, and then of course a swivel, as you would expect. He's got ball hinge shoulders with a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, a wrist swivel, and a wrist pivot. This hand is like a gripping hand. This hand is a fist hand. Same articulation on both. He's got a diaphragm joint that lets him bend forward and back, just not a whole lot. It does carry the sculpt through for the most part. You're going to get just a bit of a gap there, but that's okay. It does go side to side a little bit and swivel, but it definitely doesn't work as well as far as bending goes, as well as an ab crunch. He's got T-jointed ball hinge hips, decent range of motion there, with a thigh swivel built in, double jointed knees, and an ankle pivot with the new modern ankle rocker, which does cock the foot to the side just a little bit as you rotate it, but it is there. So the articulation's pretty good. Here's my biggest gripe about this figure. His shoulders are narrower than his hips, so he doesn't have the right proportions. Spidey is supposed to be very V-shaped, and he is not. So it makes the figure look a little bit weird. Once you get him in a pose, it's easy to not notice it, but they definitely should have blown out the shoulders just a little bit. I don't want him to look like a linebacker, but he needs to have some shoulders there. These are really pushed in there, and it just gives him kind of a weird look. As far as paint goes, it's kind of hit or miss in certain spots. The spider looks pretty good on the front and on the back, but the red painting is not the cleanest everywhere. There's some clear problems. The feet aren't painted that well. You can see this one, the red is the red is touching. There's no silver above the red there, and this one has silver above the red. So little things like that. They're not perfect, but on the shelf he'll look okay. The sculpt is really good. He's got all the texture throughout all the blue and the red. So, I mean, it's a decent figure. I think it costs like 18 bucks though, so I don't know if it's really worth that. If you're a big Spider-Man fan or really like the movie, it's good. But it was a bit pricey, even though it comes with the accessories and the interchangeable head. For 18 bucks, that's getting a little bit expensive for me for a 6-inch figure to not be an especially nice figure, I think. But I'm extra picky because this is a review, If you don't mind all those things, then don't worry about it. So there it is. There's the Amazing Spider-Man with the interchangeable head. Thanks for watching, guys. I do recommend the figure if you're a big fan. If not, it's not an extraordinary figure. So there it is. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, some custom figures, and some other good stuff. In the meantime, keep collecting.